The sky was alive with fire that night. A streak of light tore across the heavens, crashing into a small farm in the Roman countryside. Smoke rose into the night as the ground shook violently. A humble farmer ran toward the impact, fearing the worst for his crops, his animals, and himself. But what he found instead was a boy, unharmed, standing amidst the crater, humming softly. The child's eyes opened slowly, bright and piercing even in the dim moonlight. The farmer, though bewildered, gently took him home, unsure of the miracle that had fallen into his hands. The child was unlike anything the farmer had ever seen, strong even for his age, with piercing eyes that seemed to shine with an inner light. Across his chest was a symbol unfamiliar yet commanding respect, an S shield, stitched into a tunic adapted in the style of Roman clothing. It was as if the boy had been sent to the world not as a man, but as a living god. The boy grew fast, mastering feats that startled everyone around him. He helped his adoptive father plow the fields, but not like any ordinary boy. He would lift the plowing oxen effortlessly, tilling acres of land in minutes. The villagers watched in awe, whispering to each other, "Surely this is no mortal child." And yet, he worked humbly, helping others, learning Roman customs, speaking their language, participating in rituals, and earning their trust. But whispers do not stay in villages for long. By the time he reached adolescence, the story of the boy who could move mountains and outrun horses had spread across the empire, reaching the ears of the senators and the emperor himself. They summoned him to the capital, not merely to see his power, but to test it. In the great Roman arena, the boy faced the ultimate challenge. Gladiators, armed with swords, spears, and shields, circled him as the crowd roared with anticipation. The first strike came fast, a spear hurled at his chest. He caught it mid-air without effort, holding it aloft as if it weighed nothing. A legion of men charged him at once, but he moved with lightning speed, lifting them, tossing them aside without harming them seriously, and dodging their attacks with the grace of a seasoned warrior. Each motion was precise, controlled, yet awe-inspiring. The crowd went silent, then erupted into a frenzy. The senators whispered to each other, and the emperor rose from his throne. To them, this boy was no longer a human. He was a god among men. The boy did not stop there. He was sent with Roman armies to conquer neighboring lands, Israel, Egypt, and other territories beyond the empire's borders. In battle, he fought with intelligence and strategy as well as overwhelming strength. Roman generals relied on him not just as a warrior, but as a symbol. Cities surrendered at his approach. Enemy armies fell not merely from his fists, but from the fear he inspired. Every victory was recorded, every story retold. Rome's influence expanded faster than ever before, and the boy's legend grew. With each triumph, pride began to creep into him. No longer was he the humble child helping plow fields. He became the centerpiece of Rome's glory. Statues were erected in his honor, coins bore his likeness, and priests began to call him divine. His very presence demanded reverence. He watched as people kneeling before him sang his praises, and in that reflection he began to see himself as more than human. Even the emperor sought to keep him close, to harness his strength for further conquest. But the boy was no longer just a tool of Rome. He was the empire's rising god, shaping its destiny, commanding armies, and reshaping history. And yet, in the quiet moments, when he stood alone under the sun, he felt a question stir deep within him. Was he truly a god, or merely a man who had been given the power of one? As Rome flourished under his might, the boy's pride grew with it. Cities he had helped conquer shone in gold and marble. The world whispered his name across continents. But even gods, as he would soon learn, are not immune to lessons of humility. The stage was set for a reckoning that would come from beyond even the empire's reach. A force older and greater than any man, reminding him that his power, magnificent as it was, came from the sun itself, and that even gods must bow before greater truths. Part 1 ends here. Rome had a living god. The empire expanded beyond imagination, and pride had begun to take root in the boy's heart. Part 2 will explore his rebellion, Sol Invictus, the god of the sun's challenge, and the lessons he would learn about humility, power, and destiny. If you want to see how Superman's story unfolds, his rebellion, and the challenge of the god of the sun, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Nexus Chronicles. Join us as we explore the darkest what-if timelines across the multiverse, uncovering the stories history forgot and the secrets the universe doesn't want you to know.